This week, before we begin our next major project, I would like you to work on a smaller, kind of a mini project, almost more of an exercise. And we're going to go ahead and call it the Gong project because we're going to be starting out by following two of Bill Wetzel's videos, and these are for something called the Gong project. But basically, what we're doing the goal of our project, for the most part, is to create a player-controlled paddle. So when you're finished with the videos that Bill put out, Gong 01, Gong 02, you'll have a basic paddle that moves from left and right. And let me just go ahead and preview. This is where you would be, or you should be, once you're finished with his videos. I've got my idle state, and then I've got a state for go left and a state for go right. And then I've got my initializing state as well. So he shows you how to do that. That's a really important step. The goal of what we're doing by creating this player-controlled paddle is to, first of all, learn how to do some player controls, but also to work with a concept called variables. So again, watch the videos and follow the steps, and when you're finished, you're going to have set up a state machine where if you press the A key, your paddle will go to the left, and if you press the D key, your paddle will go to the right. And you can see how this is working in the state machine as I do that. Okay, and you also have a little domino over here, or a little game object over here that right now the paddle's going right through it, but it would be kind of nice if you would set that up so that it could actually get knocked over. So anyway, this is what I'd like you to at least have at the bare minimum, a state machine set up like this. So this is the first part of this assignment, is to get your state machine set up to this point where you've got a player controlled paddle going from left to right. So what I'd like you to do is to start out by watching Bill's Gong 01, Gong 02 videos, setting up the state machine so that you have a paddle that moves from left to right. But then I'd also like you to go beyond that and make a more complex state machine in which the paddles not only move left to right, but also moves forward and backward. So let me show you. This is what I set up. I started with Bill's state machine, and then I added some functionality to it. So let's preview this, and I'll show you what I have. Okay, so I've got my paddle, and I actually, Bill had set up the left as the A key and the right as pressing the D key. Since I have 4 directions, I went ahead and I made mine so that the arrow keys are what's creating the paddle to move. So I've got the left arrow moving the paddle left, the right arrow moving it right, the top arrow moving it back, and the bottom arrow moving it forward. So I've got a paddle that goes in 4 different directions. All right, and I set up some dominoes for it to knock over or to make disappear. And so my ball is out of control right now, but I'm just showing you the paddle. So this is what I'd like you to do. At the bare minimum, I would like you to set up a state machine. Again, go beyond Bill's videos where he has the paddle going from left to right, and have it go backwards and forwards. All right, and then another thing that you could do, and here's what I'd like you to do. This would be some bonus points if you could do this. Set up another state machine. Have the paddle not only move left to right, but have it rotate so that it kind of flips up, so that you can angle the ball to knock over some of these dominoes. Again, this is just something I set up. You can play around with it and have fun and just set up some arrangements of dominoes, or experiment with stuff. But the main thing is I'd like you to work on the getting a paddle that moves left, right, back, forward, and then for extra, I would like you to have it rotate. So I'm going to show you what I mean by rotate. All right, so I showed you I have the arrow keys set up for this paddle to move left, right, back, forward. But I also have now, I've got the A key, which will kind of flip the paddle or angle the paddle. It'll raise it on the left-hand side. The D key, I have it raising on the right-hand side, or kind of like flipping, like a flipper. I've got the W key set up so that it'll kind of flip toward us, and the X key set up so that it'll flip away from us. And I can move, I can flip it. You know, I'm using different key controls. One thing I'd like you to make sure that you do, I mean, you can choose whichever key that you want in order to make this work, but I want you to stick with key presses, because if you do mouse controls, we're not all going to have the same mouse. So we want to be able to play and try out your builds and experiment and check out the functionality. So just make sure that you're controlling your paddle with key presses. All right, so when I hit the A key, the left side goes up. It rotates minus 30 degrees on the Z-axis. When I hit the D key, the right side goes up. It rotates 30 degrees on the Z-axis. When I hit the W key, the back flips up. It's rotating minus 30 degrees on the X-axis. And when I flip the front of the paddle up, it's rotating 30 degrees on the X-axis. Okay, so again, what I'm going to do is provide you with a screenshot of this, and I'll provide you with screenshots of the states under each action so that you can, it'll be in a zip file inside of a folder, organized so that you can reconstruct this or recreate it on your own, okay, following or using the images so that you can understand how this is constructed, what is in each state. And I'll do the same thing for this. See, notice I have several FSMs here, and I've got them named descriptively so it's easy for me to understand what's what. So the player move one, this is the one where the platform is moving left to right, back, forward. Again, this is based on Bill's in the first two in the two videos that Bill presents. He does left and go right. I'm going to provide you with screenshots of this, and then for each state, I can provide you with screenshots for the actions in each state. Now, I'm not going to I'm not going to have the screenshots ready for you for the next day or so, but in the meantime, you can start with Bill. So just get to the point where let me save. Okay, and let's get to the point where you are at the point where you have completed the steps in Bill's first two videos and you got the state machine to this point.